Hey guys, and welcome to this episode of the Bad Idea Bros. So today we're back on the banger bikes and we're back in Pablo's workshop. If you haven't watched the last episode, you should. I'll put a link up above. That was us sourcing all the parts from Around Again Cycles. Those guys were super helpful and we actually managed to find every single part we needed for both bikes. So we're going to start with Pablo's bike today and hopefully have enough time to get into mine. But we'll hand it over to Pablo and he can show you what we're working with.
Good. So this is my awesome GT Karakoram, whatever that means. Hopefully it's not something weird, weird language. But anyway, so now this is a bicycle that it looks a little bit beaten up, but it's actually pretty solid. It's chromoly steel, which will make it very nice and very nice to ride. Will be quite forgiving, but also stiff enough that you can do some fancy things, hopefully, on it. Now, so this is the frame. This fork that you can see here, it's not staying because we want the bikes to have front suspension, and like Troy was saying, we finally managed to scavenge and gather all the parts that we needed for the bicycles, and now in this green basket here you can see that we have everything, at least I have everything for this bicycle. Of course we haven't built them yet, but very good second-hand rims with spokes and skewers and everything, good chunky tires, a nice beefy front fork. I think this one looks like a 120 mil, which is very good because then you can you can do some really big drops on it. Chain, a handlebar that you can see here because the one on the bike is a little bit bent and I don't want that. A nice seat that hopefully I'm not going to be having to sit too much on. Cables for brakes, cables for gears, all the casings for the cables, a nice, this one you never use a second-hand chain. Use always new chains when you're doing projects because it's the best way to get the drivetrain to last. Even if it's a second-hand train, use a new chain. And tire tubes, 26 inches. I have this one, and other one is hidden there. Pedals and cranks, also the brakes with the assemblies, and of course I already show you the cables and the casings. And as you can see, nothing looks too shiny and too beautiful because we wanted to build these bicycles in the smallest possible budget, because why not? And also to show that you don't need to spend big bucks to have big fun. So this is basically my setup.
Alright guys, so there you have it. That is everything for Pablo's bike. So the only thing left to do is for us to get wrenching. Let's get into this thing. Alright man, where are we up to?
So I just gave this one a bit of a clean because it had lots of old dirt on it, which is quite gross. So just, yeah, I mean you don't need to get too clinical with this, but it's good to work on as clean as you can surfaces, because then if you have a bit of unwanted dirt there, you're gonna feel grittiness when you are steering, and of course you don't want that. You want nice and smooth. So this one has blue grease, which is very nice, good quality on it. That's it. I think this should be
Straight swap over.
Yeah, there you go.
Perfect.
Very good. And this thingy for the canty brakes.
Which we're not actually running, but still needs to.
I'm actually running.
Oh, you're going to run
canties,
canty
yeah.
brakes. Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Did you see? I have the mounts here for them.
Yep.
For canty brakes.
Perfect.
And that's it.
Handlebars back on. I've got your forks.
Ah, cool. Thank you very much. So like we were saying earlier, you can see progress on this stage looks quite quick. I think I'm just gonna have to maybe hammer this with the soft hammer a little bit here. There you go. There you go. It's like a dream. I think this is looking straight enough for now. We're going to fine tune anyway once we are mostly done. We are just putting together and then the fine tuning comes next. Now, as you can see, the bicycle, it very much resembles a bicycle now. Brakes, pedals, the derailleur, seat, front's looking quite good. And now we're going to do a little bit of transmission or drivetrain. So the next step is to put this cassette, which is this part, into this free hub here. So this is what you can hear when you're free coasting on your bicycle. This one is not so noisy because it's quiet. And that's it. So these have this very nice gear that you put from bigger to smaller one. So if you are a very experienced bicycle mechanic, you should be able to do it all in one go, but this is not the case here. It's very much improvising as we go. So a little bit less. There you go. They have all of these teeth that you can see here, they are actually not all the same size. So they have some little ones like these ones that you have to make match with the other ones here. So just turn and spin until they match. At some point. There you go. Same with these spacers. They also have the but you don't want this sticking out in the gaps here. There you go. Let's follow that order of ideas, like so here. Not yet, not quite. Next one, I think. And I think you get the idea of what's this like. I'm sure that if there is any bicycle mechanics there watching me doing this, please don't write any rude comments on the videos. But this is basically what we're doing, just being patient and learning as we go. This is great fun. I think fixing bicycles is something that everyone should know how to do. Okay, so it looks like this cassette is now, yeah, I think it's good to go. Giving it the last tight. There you go. to be any stronger than that. That's it, we have a cassette on the bicycle now. Very good. Next step, tubes and tires. Okay, I think we have run into what seems to be the first and hopefully last problem of this project, is that my tire tube here, this valve will not fit in the hole for this ring, wherever it is. I even lost the hole now. Ah yeah, here it is. So this hole is for a different kind of valve, which is a lot narrower than this one. So what is happening is that what I have to do just now, go to the shop and change this tire tube for one with the Odell Presta valve, the skinnier one. But that's it. Like, that's so far I think we're going quite good, because everything else has been going quite swimmingly. So I'm just gonna more or less put this tire here without a tube, and then at least I can put it on the frame and see how it looks. And I mean, we all know that's gonna look awesome, but I want to see it in the real life. Cool. Well, look at this. It looks like a bicycle now. It has most of the components of a bicycle. Basically, all the big bits are now strapped to the bike. It's quite exciting. I actually really would like to take it for a run right now, but that most likely will end up on me dying. So I think, for now, I think I'm gonna call it a success for this day, and the next stage will be putting all the small components, or the little cables and all the little screws here on the brakes and all the little things that are actually quite boring to see, but they're quite important so you can ride the bicycle. That's it. This bike is going to be a bit of a beast. Hello, my friends from the Bad Idea Bros. This is Pablo here with a little update of how the work is going with my GT Karakoram vintage mountain bike. So as you can see, it does indeed look like a bicycle. It has all the bicycle components you might expect, like tires, wheels, frame, pedals and cranks and drivetrain, and suspension, and a handlebar, which is very good if you want to be able to control your bicycle. Now, the last time that you saw this project, it was still very much in bits, but now at least the front part of it is very much finished. So we have functional brakes, which work really nice, as you can see, nice and safe. The suspension did take a little bit of trial and error, because this setup was not what you would call a straightforward installation. I did have to play a little bit around with washers and different parts in order to make this fit here properly, because when I put it the first time it was wobbly. So I did have to look into my little parts bin just to find bearings and washers that will make it be nice and solid. So this is the front of the bike. I did all the cable routing, which is, yeah, it's kind of boring to show in video because it's just mainly me doing very little work. As you can see here, I have all the bits of cable that I cut to the right size, and I also have all the bits of the cable casing, which is this one that you can see here. So this one I will continue to use this one for the next bits where I need cables, which are the rear brakes and the suspension. So basically what you do is you install the cable first, let's say here in this case on the brake lever, and then you just put this cable casing, which is like an empty casing. That's why it's called a casing, and it's covered in metal to keep the cable nice and safe, and to avoid it of getting the cables like kinked or something where they wouldn't work. So that's basically the function of that. So I routed this one here, which is the front brake, straight down towards the brake, and then it does the job that it's supposed to do, which is stopping the bicycle. This is the front one, and I started the installation of the rear one, of the rear brake, and also I started the installation of the gear shifter with the cable. So again, for these ones I followed the same procedure of putting the cables first into the levers, and then putting the casings. Following here on this bicycle is really nice because it has a notch here under the frame. Maybe I will be able to show you a little bit where the cables fit very neat and very well protected there. So I basically put the cables to the measurement here, the casings. Here in this section the cables pass a little bit with no cover, and here you can see the rear brake on this side. It has also one of those casings, and is now here ready to install, but it's still work in progress because I need to adjust it a little bit more. And this other cable that you can see here, if you keep following it, it comes down all the way to one more little bit of casing, and then it comes down all the way to the derailleur, which is the one that changes the gears of the bicycle. Yeah, I also forgot to mention that I installed a new chain, brand new, like I said in one of the previous videos. Make sure that you use new chains. Don't use an old one, because then it will be impossible to dial in your speeds. Drivetrain is all good, and this is the process of the bicycle so far. I think it's going very well, and we are really looking forward to take these two machines on an adventure. So stay tuned, and you will see more of us soon. Thank you very much.